Hey guys, Basil and Will with Grayson Hobby, and today we have a brand new quad from LDARC, otherwise known as KingKong.
It's not a jumper video! Holy crap! No, this is the ET125. This is a 4-cell edition.
4S on a 125.
I didn't know where he was going with that one. But yeah, 4-cell, 125 size, under 250 gram quad with modern, updated parts from KingKong.
Yep. So this video, we're going to break this guy down. We're going to go over all the specs, and we'd be very surprised on these specs. Break it open, take the canopy off, go over everything with a fine-tooth comb, and yeah.
The real question is, did KingKong screw up by updating the old one, the tried and true, or did they do it right? Watch the video.
If you're new to the channel, Grayson Hobby is a shop located outside of Atlanta, Georgia, where we sell and ship out quads and airplanes and drone parts and everything of sorts. And everything you see on our website is located here in our good old USA warehouse right outside of Atlanta.
All right, so what we have here is the ET125 4-cell edition.
4-cell?
4-cell. So this is factory setup for 4-cell operation. Still running the 2.8-inch props from the original 125, but basically they took the 2-cell setup and changed it up to make it more compatible with today's stuff. 4-cell is getting very popular in the smaller stuff now. The battery prices have come down, so they figured, hey, it's time to upgrade.
Okay.
So this is the quad here, but let's see what's in the box. Nice little lunch box for anybody right there.
Those are great, man.
And, oh, it was already open. There we go. So we're gonna take it out. First thing is the quad upside down in a baggie.
Okay.
Looks like it comes with some, the injection molded TPU style landing pads.
Mm-hmm.
Comes with an extra canopy with looks like some screws. So it has like a milky clear translucent canopy.
Okay.
Comes with 8 pieces. Okay, so it's got 8 screws and it looks like maybe 2 sets of props there, or 2 full sets. It looks like 4 clockwise, 4 counterclockwise props.
I like the color.
And it's a nice, yeah, I like that green too,
color,
actually.
Yeah.
Comes with, this is the little landing stand, like launch pad thing, display, and then there's a little bag. Oh, this goes with the stand. So it's not a launch pad, it's a stand. And you got the manual or stickers for the new receiver. This is the AC2000 receiver inside the quad, and we'll get to that later. And then more stickers. And one thing you notice right there, where's the manual? It's not there anymore.
The paper manual's not there.
Yep. So the
But
QR code
scan that with your phone,
will take you to the digital manual.
let's do that.
Or
all right, let's give that a shot here. So I'm gonna take my phone, and then, so they kind of messed up here. If you can see that, it's not the website. It's just literally the text PNP ET125 in a in a note. So we'll link the manual.
The link to the manual will be on the product page.
Oh, we forgot something.
So guys, one thing we forgot to do is talk about the battery it comes with. Is a LDARC branded, which is probably a GMB 430 milliamp 4-cell battery. This is not a high voltage battery.
What's the C rating?
It does have an 80C discharge rating at 5C continuous current charge capability. So you can charge the sucker pretty quick if you really want to, which keep in mind, the faster you charge the batteries, the faster you wear them out.
What's the size of that battery right there?
So this battery is, what, 60, I'm going to say roughly 60 millimeters long. What was that, 15 tall, maybe?
Sounds good.
And about 23 wide.
So skinny little pack.
So yeah.
Skinnier.
Weight of the battery, just so you guys know, if you have batteries, if you're trying to figure out what battery you got at home that might work. Let's see what this factory battery weighs. 50 grams, 50.1 grams. So it's not a super heavy battery. It's small. It's pretty compact.
And that comes inside?
Yeah, this will come with the ET125.
Was on the charger when we did it. So. All right, so this is first off, that canopy is freaking slick looking. I don't know if it's hard to see, but it's like a blue chrome kind of.
Yeah, it's a reflective chrome. It's really nice. The first thing you notice, 2804 motors. It's got the same guards as the older model. As the original 125. So they're 2.8-inch guards. The motors are 1305, 3600 kV. Now this is 4-cell, but that is a really low kV still. I will say I was kind of hoping more for 4000 kV. But keep in mind, the ET series is catered towards beginners. So this is going to be a good power without crazy top end speeds. So if you guys are looking for 100-mile-an-hour quad, this is not it. This is still to be about like the ET115 speed and all that.
Again, because it's made for beginners. All right, here's the situation. I have a ET115 3S and I have 10 batteries. And I want to get this, but I'm afraid to... I have too many 3S batteries. Can I reuse them, or do I need to only go 4S?
The KV of these motors are very low for 3-cell.
Okay.
You're going to be reducing... You're going from a 5,000 kV motor to a 3,600 kV motor.
Okay.
That
so
is...
spin slower.
Give me a second. Let me do the math. All right, so... By going from 5,000 kV RPMs per volt, which is what KV stands for, to 3,600, you're losing 28% of your potential RPMs. So it's going to be very sluggish.
Okay.
We're talking probably 35, 40 miles an hour top speed.
So it will fly.
It would probably break ground, but honestly, guys, I wouldn't recommend it on 3-cell. If this thing had 4,000 kV motors or maybe 4,500 kV, I think it'd actually be pretty nice on 3-cell.
Okay. But why? You have
the closer to 5. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's
the
where
ET115. Why do that?
So, guys, I would say this one, that might be the only downside of this quad, is the fact that you really need to run 4-cell batteries to make it worth a damn.
And that's not a downside. That's just the way it is.
That's just, well, it just means you're paying an extra $2 per battery.
Yeah. These little size batteries, the price does not jump like you do when you get to the 1500s.
Yeah.
Or 1300s.
Yeah.
Or even like the higher end, the 100C, 120C, and stuff like that.
Yeah. So we are talking lower KV motors, and they did that for reduced amp draw, bigger motors, reduced amp draw.
Because this is made for beginners. We all know a lot of people don't know how to use that left thumb.
Yeah. So, yep, there you go. Okay, so moving on from there, the camera on this thing, I believe, is a Runcam Nano 2. So we actually have a nice little camera in here. It's not that little OV231 camera that had, you know, not the best light. Yeah, it was a basic CMOS.
So, what's that?
What's what?
That screw.
That is a set screw.
Is that where you adjust it?
Well, the camera can be tilted.
Yeah, and then
you can adjust the tilt from 15. The window's cut out from 15 to 45 degrees.
Okay.
So loosening the screws a little bit would probably make it easier, but you could snug it there. It's kind of using the friction of the little rubber adapter to hold it. But the camera mount actually inside looks like they're using the micro adapter with a nano camera. So you might be able to use like a micro Swift or anything like that if you have it laying around. I haven't tried it yet. It's possible that it would fit.
Yeah, okay.
Has a buzzer on top, like traditional. Got your VTX antenna here.
Buzzer as in like a tone audio buzzer.
Beeper, yeah.
Not a
No. You have the two antennas here for the AC 2000 receiver, which we'll get to later.
And that's a D16?
D16, yes.
And will it bind to my jumper?
Yes.
Okay.
Not to your Spectrum.
Right.
The receiver you can see clearly down here. So they moved the receiver to the bottom, guys, which I like because the bind button is right there. If you guys are having trouble seeing it, it's that gold button right there. So in order to bind this guy, very easy.
Okay, AC 2000 receiver. What is it?
New receiver from KingKong. Basically, instead of the AC 900, which is basically like an XM Plus style receiver, this is more along the lines of an XM Plus, but it's 2. So what they've done is 2 actual CC 2500 chips, which is what makes the FreeSky receiver.
Okay.
So there's 2 of those working together instead of diversity, like antenna diversity, where other receivers use whichever one's stronger signal. This is 2 actual separate receivers working together that are sending the signal. So in theory, it should be a better reception.
That's amazing. Did we read the range?
They're claiming 2,000 meters or so, whereas the factory original receiver was only like a park flyer size, which I believe was 500 meters guesstimate, before degradation of video or signal quality. Still binds with one bind plug. It has 2 separate independent LEDs, so there is a potential where one receiver could not be reading and the other one could. But that's just a different way of doing the same thing with diversity. It's a nice little thing. Cool. But it is a nice receiver. It's a full range receiver. With diversity. It has RSSI through the OSD, so it's going to put it out on the last aux 12 or whatever on your on-screen display for your quad. So if you turn on your telemetry RSSI, it's going to be wherever you put it on the screen. I usually put like top right corner, stuff like that. But you'll be able to do that, and it's just a really nice, easy to get to receiver. So I like that because nothing sucks worse than having to get down in there to get that bind button on these things. So this is a welcome addition yet again for this quad.
All right, back back to the review.
So externally, that's what we see here. Now, if anybody's asking about the zip ties, the purpose of zip ties is to keep the antennas up in here. It's not providing any structural strength or anything like that. If you reran the antennas, so be it, but this is just the way they kept the antennas from getting to the props, I guess.
Okay. You can always remount it.
Yeah, no big deal if you're, but I wouldn't cut that zip tie when you get it. It actually does have somewhat of a purpose there.
Okay.
They put some nice shrink tube over the connector here, so if you're pulling on the battery, you don't accidentally pull off the shrink tube or anything like that.
Good idea.
So it's a nice little reinforcement there.
So the shrink tube, go back, it's hard to see in the camera, but it goes all the way from about, what, 10, 15 centimeters?
Yeah, about a half inch, yeah.
All the way over the XT30.
Yeah, so it's got a nice little there. One thing you'll see externally, they added a capacitor, which is good for video noise, especially with the higher voltage.
Okay.
So they are cleaning up the video a little bit. So let's crack this sucker open.
So on paper, man, this thing looks rocking, right?
I mean, they updated it, and literally, it's not trying to set any land speed record or airspeed records or anything like that. It's literally an updated 2020 edition of the ET125. I'm hoping they do something similar with the 115, but we'll get to that later.
But you said land speed. We have some customers that will probably...
They'll put wheels on it, yeah. So in order to remove the canopy, there's three screws, Phillips head screws, in these corners here. Okay. Keep in mind, guys, if you are looking to try to upgrade your older ET series, this canopy will not fit. The hole pattern is different, and we'll get to that in a second. So they have changed the bottom plate hole pattern and...
So that must mean they changed the bottom plate then.
Yeah, and let's see if we can get this thing off without breaking anything.
It's always good to break a quad before you fly it, right?
The antenna... has to be pushed through and down, so you can't just pull the canopy off, otherwise you could damage the antenna. Okay. So we got that through. All right, now we got that there, and I have not opened this one before yet, so we're doing this together, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug the LED bar and buzzer from the bottom, and I'm gonna unplug the camera just to get this out of the way. All right, let's get that from the inside. You'll see you still have the LED assembly there, which with this canopy it's not going to be very visible. If you use the translucent one, you still the LED will work good. Yeah. It'll light up the frame a good bit. You can see the RunCam Nano 2 with the adapter installed. This is a RunCam part right here, so they're actually using a real RunCam and everything, obviously. The hole pattern, though, to show you guys, let me grab, just to show you guys, this is an original, and the white one is the original 2-cell version. You can see the hole pattern is actually big time different. The body's narrower up here, so you got a narrower body, narrow holes. These mount behind the flight stack instead of beside the flight stack, so it gives more clearance for the wires for the motor leads. And also, they're using a bigger speed control now. They're using a 20 amp edition, which we'll get to. Now let's look. Now that we got it apart, so we can look at that. It's using a 20 amp ESC, and if you were using the version 1, the problem with the version 1 is the mounting holes were in line with the 20 amp ESC, so you couldn't upgrade to a 20 amp speed control on the original 125. So they moved the holes back behind it, so they're not in the way. So we have a 20 amp 4-in-1 speed control. We have the F411 based F4 flight controller, and we have a 48 channel VTX. That's a Tramp Immersion RC style programming. And the power options on that one, let me verify real quick. And our VTX is a 48 channel Tramp Immersion RC style, and it's also has 25 milliwatt, 100 milliwatt, which is what the original one had, and 200 milliwatt. So this is a more powerful VTX. Wow. So we're talking for a mere like $10 difference from the older version. We have bigger motors, we have better receiver, we have a better VTX, a bigger ESC, and a better camera. I mean, it's kind of hard to say this is not a good thing. I mean, I don't know where you can physically say this is a downgrade in any way from the original 125. So I got to give them props on that. They actually went through with an update that's that's not 2 steps forward and 4 steps back on a new product. Which, not saying KingKong's done that in the past, but other companies have definitely done that recently.
And the one thing that kept the same, which we've always said is the best product ever.
The guards. Yeah, they work good. I mean, granted, you hit hard enough, yeah, you can break them. But compared to what you would do without the guards...
They made this out of some kind of a space-age titanium product.
No, completely false. Do not read into that in any way.
I meant
Don't
strong.
Listen.
They're very strong for
any of you possibly buying this is not titanium space-age or anything. It is injection molded plastic. So please take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
There's the capacitor there, the 4 screws on the stack. It is still soft mounted at the bottom. They're using metal spacers, still like the older version. It still has the rubber band for the battery, but they're doubled. The battery, the rubber band is doubled.
Wow.
So I guess you could use one till it wears out and then use the other one if you wanted to, or you could just use 2 right off the bat. There's not really a lot of room. That was a complaint I had before. I wish the stack was a little taller. It does look like there's actually a little bit of room in this frame compared to the older versions. So for those of you that want to upgrade to a micro strap, you probably could loosen these screws. There's a little bit of meat on these screws. You could probably change it to add an O-ring or 2 underneath, raise the screw up, and then you would have enough room to run a lipo strap under there without it interfering with the speed control. So I think that is a viable upgrade if for you to do down the road if you just don't like the rubber bands. I personally have never broken any. I have seen them get damaged and crashes and sliding and stuff like that.
I've never broken one. I crashed the crap out of mine.
But yeah, but they did put 2 on there, so you could technically just use one and then use another one down the road if you want to.
Let's check this. Is that a mistake? Let's double check.
It did not come with spares.
No, 2.
It's doubled.
You see 2 in that one? Make sure it's not a mistake.
It's doubled.
All right.
I can tell.
All right. Okay, so let's see how the battery fits in there.
So the battery, they included one that had this little strap on it. It's actually kind of neat because it has a label. On one side it says charged, and on the other side it says discharge for those of you that are organized enough to be able to use that.
Wow, mine would only say charged.
I actually completely forgot to change that every time I've used it.
But that's good for those people who are new.
But the cool thing about that is the whole purpose of that, one, you can tell if it's charged, discharged for storage and all that, as far as being able to keep up with your stuff. But 2, you can keep the balance lead tucked in and the battery lead tucked in, which is really nice because the last thing you want is a balance lead getting chopped up in the props. As far as how the battery fits, you just slide that sucker in here.
I'm just interested in how that's going to work with 2 straps versus...
I mean, perfectly fine. Okay. It holds very tight. It's pretty good. Okay. Can you just use one? Absolutely. It doesn't hold as tight, but if you're not doing crazy aerobatics and all that, it shouldn't cause any issues.
Yeah, just use 2.
But I would use 2, yeah.
Well, that's pretty good. Okay.
But so this is a 4-cell, 430 milliamp battery, for those of you asking.
All right.
And the last thing is the frame. For those people that are going to ask, the frame thickness of the carbon fiber is 3 millimeters. I believe the older one might have actually been 2. I'd have to go back and look. But this is a 3 millimeter carbon frame. It's a 1-piece carbon for the whole bottom plate that's been cut out, and it feels pretty good. I mean, it doesn't have really any, for its size and all that, there's not much flex at all for a 1-piece plate. So
nice.
You got 4 screws per motor, and one thing to keep in mind, guys, there is a plate under this. So if you guys do end up removing the motors, please keep in mind there is a little fiberglass plate underneath there. I'm guessing they did that as a spacer for the screws, because the screws, you don't want them going into the motor windings or anything like that. Not that they're anywhere near the windings per se on the bell housing, but where the wires run through this little guard area. I think they did that just as a precaution for anybody that might slightly over tighten their screws.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, and the motors do have the little C-clips holding the bell housings on, so they're not screwed on motors. They are the C-clips to hold it together. So you can service it, the motors, but just beware of the little clip popping off and stuff like that when you do it.
We have a GMB 450 4S.
Yeah, for those of you guys looking for an alternative battery, good alternative battery, something like the GMB 450 would work. It is a different footprint than the 430. But you get slightly more milliamp, and I believe it's a higher discharge. No, they're both ADC. Okay. So
we think LDARC gets the GMB batteries.
Yeah, they actually have custom cells made from GMB. Yeah. So the packaging is identical. Yeah. So
they deny it, but we think it's the same.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's the same OEM vendor somewhere in China. But as far as that goes, this is a possibility. Would I go any bigger on the battery? Keep in mind, the heavier you go, the harder is going to be to break ground, so it's going to feel a little more sluggish. I would probably stick with that 400 to 450 range battery if I was flying this, you know, with different types of batteries.
So that was biggest we recommend right there. All right, let's get.
So the real question is, what does this sucker weigh? So let me tear this. We got grams on the scale. And oh, hold on, let's get that battery. Let's not cheat this here. Let's tuck that in. We got, what is that? 121.1.
It's hard for me to see, but we can see through. 121.1. Yep.
I'll move it.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
121.1. Yep.
And then with the battery, factory battery, 171.7. So it's under 250 grams.
Wow, awesome. Put that switch out battery. See if there's a difference between 182. Oh, so we got plenty of room for the 250 gram thing.
Yeah.
You got like what, 70 grams?
Yeah.
Okay.
And with these motors being a little beefier, I think there might be better prop choices for this. 2.8 is not as popular of a prop size, but if there's other props out there that would work, I think these motors and the speed control combo can handle a little more prop, a little more aggressive prop. Maybe there's a 4-blade version, etc. So if you guys already have one or anything like that, which it's probably not too many people because this just came out, but if you tried different props on it, let us know in the comments below what props have worked for you aftermarket wise.
It's been cold, rainy, windy, crappy winter weather, so unfortunately we couldn't fly it in the last week, believe it or not. It's just been terrible.
It's been awful.
So definitely we'll have to put this in our schedule for next time, but yeah, stay tuned for the flying video and let us know what we missed you want to cover for next time.
Yep. So we'll try 3-cell, 4-cell, go from there, get some DVR footage for you guys, and just any things that pop up. See if the tunes were the shit out of the box. Oh, were the crap out of the box. Sorry. Bleep. What?
And let us know if you want to see the radar gun speed test. For some reason, those are very polarizing. People love them, and people like want to kill us.
I think they only like it if you were standing out there with it for the potential of me hitting you with it.
If it hits me with it, yeah.
Which I don't disagree.
But now we have the stupid, the
tripod, which I hit. The one time we use it, I plastered it with a freaking 2-inch quad.
Yeah.
So,
all right, there it is.